Hi, everyone. I'm Jim Pilot with Peak Wealth Management. Thank you for joining me today for the 3 concerns about your 403B webinar. I started my financial advising career at a large company that focused on selling these 403Bs to educators. The longer I was with them, the more concerns I had about the plans that were offered in those school districts. And today I wanted to share some of those concerns with you. So we will go through this webinar and talk about some things you should be paying attention to. Okay, first thing, we'll do a quick history lesson on what is a 403B. They became available for people to contribute to in 1958, and they started as tax sheltered annuities. So the only investment option at that point when they originally started were annuities. It wasn't until 1974 that mutual funds became included in that. And to this day, it's estimated that over 75% of 403B accounts are still in annuities. So even though times have changed, investment products have evolved and improved. 403Bs have been very slow to update. A 403B is commonly referred to as a public school employee version of a 401k. And while there are similarities, there are also differences. So some of the similarities is that they are retirement accounts designed for savings. Both have access at 59 and a half. They're tax deferred, just like a regular 401k would be. Some of the differences, though, are that 403Bs do not fall under ERISA. So ERISA stands for the Employee Retirement Income Security Act. We'll talk about that in just a minute. And the other major difference is that 401ks have one provider at a company, and 403Bs actually have multiple providers. So we will talk about that as well. So concern number one is that 403Bs do not fall under the protection of ERISA. ERISA is designed to provide oversight on 401ks. They require a fiduciary, and a fiduciary is somebody that is required by law to act in your best interest. So ERISA requires a fiduciary to oversee the plan of a 401k to ensure that they're offering reasonable, low-cost investments to suit every person. This does not apply to 403Bs. They do not have this oversight, and that's why there are many concerns about some of the investment options and company offerings within 403Bs, because there's nothing there to prevent a bad, expensive, or unsuitable plan from being included as one of the offerings. Second concern is that there are multiple providers to choose from. This does put the responsibility on the participant to find the right plan. Most districts have at least 10 plans or more, and that participant should be the one to go through those 10 different plans and scrub them for cost and for suitability and which one is really the best to meet your needs. And that's a tremendous undertaking. Another one of the problems is the way that they're sold. They're often have a salesperson will come in, they earn a commission, but a lot of times we see them bring in some breakfast. They tell you that the district sent them, they were there to help you with their retirement account. You never know or learn from them that there are multiple plans to choose from. So oftentimes the one you end up with is the one that was from the first person that showed up to tell you that they had this plan you need to start saving in. It's very common for you to have seen them once, them sign you up, and then to disappear and never be seen again, largely due to the fact that they earned their commission and their work is done. They have no further incentive. The reality is that you do have choices, and they are not all the same. We have talked about annuities a little bit already, but they do have a reputation for being high cost. Most annuities have an M&E, which stands for mortality and expense, which is basically just the charge to let you on the platform. In addition to that, there's an internal expense for the investments that are within that annuity. So it's really common that we see an M&E in the neighborhood of 1.2%, and internal expenses can be as high as 1.2% as well, for an all-in cost of 2.5% each year. The other concern with annuities are surrender periods, meaning that you put money into these accounts, and if you try to take it out within a certain period of time, you'll be required to pay a penalty. So a lot of times these surrender periods can range from 5 years to as many as 12 years that your money is stuck in there, or you'll have to pay a penalty to move it. that can be a real issue and lock you into paying these higher fees for longer periods of time. Another type of annuity that's common in the 403B market are fixed or indexed annuities. Sometimes these are sold as saying you can never lose, or they're no cost, which in both of those cases can be accurate. However, the trade-off is that your earnings are capped. So in a good market year, it's very common that we'll see these fixed or index annuities. You'll only earn 1, 2, maybe 3% at the most in return, when a well-diversified portfolio may have earned way over that. If you are in a mutual fund-based account, it is going to be commission-based by and large. That's what we see with the mutual funds, and they do have high sales charges. Almost all of them charge 5 3/4% upfront for you to begin investing in that mutual fund. You're also locked in with one single company, but the first 5 3/4%, so $5.75 on a $100 contribution goes to pay the commission to the salesperson. So this leads us to concern number 3, that most 403Bs are way too expensive. But does it matter? You know, we think 1% here, 1% there. We think this illustration does a good job of showing you how important it is to pay attention to the fees. We already mentioned that most 403Bs will have these fees nearing 2.5% each year. So in this example, we have an employee contributing $500 a month, or $250 a paycheck for most, into a retirement plan. If they earn 7% on that account, after 30 years, the account total will be $613,544. So in that exact same example, this same client is paying 1% more than they were in the previous example. So maybe we'll say 1% extra. The investment account only will be worth $504,000 at the end of that 30-year period. So the difference, just in paying that overcharge in fees, would result in $108,775 difference. So if you kind of think about it in your mind, that's almost 2 years worth of work for a lot of teachers. Are you willing to work an extra 2 years to pay that salesman's commission? So I'm not the only one thinking these things. Many major publications have written articles recently. Over the past few years, we've seen articles with some really interesting headlines, you know, that kind of show the point that we're trying to make. The New York Times says, "Think your retirement plan is bad? Talk to a teacher." Barron's had an article called "The Annuity Trap That Teachers Need to Avoid." Forbes had a pros and cons of 403B plans article that they put out, highlighting some of these issues. Wealth Management had one titled "Teachers Are Getting Schooled on Retirement." And then a scary name title from Investment News: "The SEC's probing compensations and sales practices in 403B plans." So this issue is starting to get national attention. So what can you do about it? I've worked with school employees for many years, and some of the things that we've been able to do to help, because there are multiple plans within the district. We talked about there being sometimes as many as 10 different plans to choose from. Typically there is a good one in there, and we can switch to that new provider. You can stop contributing to the one plan and start contributing to the new, better plan. A lot of times you can transfer that account into that new account, so you can move everything out of that old provider into the new one. If surrender charges are prohibiting us from making that choice at this time, you can always discontinue contributions into the old plan, start contributing into a new, lower cost, better plan, even while that other one just waits to move out of surrender. So again, keeping in mind cost, if you have a $100,000 account balance and you're paying an additional 1% on it, that's $1,000 every year that you're spending. You know, this is real money that adds up over time that people pay and overpay on these fees. So how can I help? I am a fiduciary. We legally are required to give the advice that's in your best interest, so we can help you get you into a fiduciary plan. We do not earn any commissions. We don't use any products that have surrender charges or anything like that. And perhaps most helpful is we can just give you a second opinion. No obligation. You're welcome to call in, email, talk with me. We can give you an idea if you're on the right track and thinking of all the things you need to with your retirement plan, your 403B. One of my favorite plans that's available in most districts is the Fidelity plan. What I commonly see on that, is low cost. Most of my clients, we can get them into that for in the neighborhood of that 1.2%, which is over that 1% savings on most of the 2.5% annuities that we see. Fidelity plan is flexible, no surrender charges, no penalties to move in and out. Thirdly, you are getting a professionally managed portfolio, so it's always going to remain well diversified. A lot of index funds in there, low cost funds, to make sure that you're always appropriately invested. And then lastly, we're not a salesperson. We're actual financial planners. We can do financial planning for you. We can help you answer questions like, am I on track? Do I have enough set aside for retirement? These are important things to consider. How does my retirement account blend with my pension? And do I need both? These are important questions, and we can walk you through that process and help answer those for you. Our goal is to have you to retire with confidence. If you have any questions about these things, if you're not sure if you're saving enough, are you paying too much in fees? Are you in one of these plans that's not flexible? Or do you just need a second opinion? We're here to help. You can see some of our contact information there. I do encourage you to check out our website, peakwm.com. And then we created a special one for teachers, peakwm.com/teachers. We'll have additional information on the topics that we've discussed here. Through that website even gives you the ability to book an appointment right there, or call or email to get that second opinion and to have a conversation to make sure you understand what you're in and if you're on the right track. So again, thank you for joining us. We're always here to help answer any questions. Encourage you again to visit the website or connect with us to set up that second opinion appointment. Take care.